I'm just reading y'all's comments. Keep them coming. Get your takes off. Bum, 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 bum. These comments are great. Two sides of a coin. Comments are awesome. I'm reading comments. Just reading the comments here. And fan base is split. Before we get started, Miami fans, congratulations. You got the green light tonight. Go ahead and talk your trash. I ain't got nothing to say to you. You got the green light to get in the comment section and say what you got to say. Before we get into the major, I guess, talking points, I'm not even going to waste time going over the game as if there's stuff to break down. You know what I take from this game? I'm going to be honest with you. This game is the difference between what you saw in this game is recruiting. You saw recruiting matter. Talent matters, like I've always said. You want to talk about coaching, and oh, you got to have the coaches, blah, blah, blah. Recruiting matters. Recruiting matters. And that's what I take away from this game. Getting players matter. Getting top players matter. Getting good players on the offensive and defensive line matter. If you want to continue to question those things, or you think we can scheme around those things, well, then you either are new to football in general, delusional, or you have an agenda that you're trying to push, a narrative you're trying to push. KCS, you didn't have to do this, man. You already dropped the bomb. You didn't have to do this, but I respect you. Shout out to KCS, big dog here with the 99 with $100. He says, Polk, I'll let you decide if LM gets his money since you never put up a dime after all that talking. LM, that goes to you. Um, LM, I will send you money when YouTube cuts the check. But shout out to KCS again, uh, dropping big money in the chat. As always, man. Thank you for the love and support.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
One second. All right, I'm back. My bad, guys. Had to handle some business. Um, like I was saying, man, recruiting matters. Recruiting matters in this thing. Again, and I'm reading the comments, and again, I'm not going to get into some major breakdown of what happened and why it happened. Look, bro, you got beat. And you got beat because you had a team that was more talented than you, and they showed up. So, Miami fans, you get the green light tonight. Um, where do we start? Let's start with some of these comments I'm seeing. I'm seeing some moral victory comments. I'm seeing some fire Norvell comments. Look, my friends, if it took this game for you to want to fire Mike Norvell, well, then you're behind the curve. I'm not going to turn this into some major fire Mike Norvell live stream. I don't see the point in that. I've done that. 2-10 should have showed you that. What this team showed you tonight was that they are closer to the team that I thought. I won't say we. They're closer to the team that I said they were before the season than that team that you saw beat an Alabama team. That Alabama's looked good since. To Bama's credit, they have looked good since, but they are closer to that 7-5 team that I predicted. Um, and it's because of some of the things that I said, whether it's overall talent, players that fit what you're trying to do, your quarterback. A lot of that stuff is gonna I knew would show against good teams. Bama game, it made us forget. But the truth always, like I've been saying, the truth is always revealed between the white lines, and the truth continues to come out. What does that mean going forward? Well, I don't know. FSU, you got Pitt next. What, next week, I think? Pitt's the next game. I don't know if FSU has a bye week or not. You got Pitt next, though, right? That's going to be another tough game, guys. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, other than this team is going like Clemson don't look like an easy win. Florida don't look like an easy win. You're still kind of hoping you win those games. Then you got the Pitts and some of these other teams on the schedule. I mean, FSU still has a chance to have a good season. Don't get me wrong. But this game showed you how far you are from competing at the highest level. And we're in year 6. So you can take that for what it's worth. I want y'all to come out here and I want you to say what you got to say. Did FSU make the score respectable at the end? Sure. But Miami, been saying it, they play a certain way. Run, 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 short passes. That number 10, Tony, can take a 5-yarder 50. And that's all they don't need to stretch you deep. They don't need to play 5 wide. They're just going to run the ball. Just going to run the ball on you, right? And then when the time comes, they hit you with something small over the middle. And they got receivers that are going to take it an extra 15, 20, whatever, how many yards it is. So that's Miami's game plan. Whether it's going for it on a 4th down that was kind of unnecessary, to be quite honest with you, whether it's throwing the ball over and throwing the ball interceptions, I'm trying to say, like TC just that's the Thomas Castellanos I know. So all the Jordan Travis comparisons, we can probably shut some of that up. It'd be nice to never hear that Jordan Travis and Tommy Castellanos comparison ever come out of anybody's mouth again. By the way, I'm not even drinking tonight because I'm not doing that to myself. I'm drinking Sprite. Well, sugar might be worse than liquor, so I don't know. But no liquor for me, because why would I do that to myself? Like I said, this team can't hurt me anymore, so I'm not going to do it. All in all, when you can just control the line of scrimmages, I mean, that's all you really have to do. And then, your best offensive lineman goes out the game for an extended period of time. That exposed some things. People, again, the turnovers. FSU's had a turnover problem really the last 2 games. Can't stop turning the ball over. Number 19. Yeah. I've seen enough of him. Get him off the football field, right? Let's get him off the football field. But what I really want to direct this to is the fans, guys. And I'm talking specifically to Florida State fans. At some point, guys, granted, we don't make any decisions, my friends. So regardless of what we say, we don't make any decisions. And I'm fully aware of that. But at some point, I do believe we have to put our foot down, draw a line in the sand and say, what do we want to be? Because, bruh, it's year 6. It's year 6. We're in year 6 and we're in a rebuild. So in a lot of ways, none of this should really be surprising to anybody. But the Bama game fooled a lot of us, right? It put a lot of false hope in our head. Fool's gold. Bama, but the team is what they are. The team's what they are, man. And again, you are what you are. Mike Norvell is who he is. Gus is who he is, and so on and so forth. If you want it, if for whatever reason, and I don't know why, and I said I wasn't going to make this a Norvell thing, but maybe I will. I don't know what it is about the Florida State football fan in 2025 that we are so loyal to this guy. I really don't know. If you like him, that's fine. If he's a good dude, I'm sure. Family man, all those good things. But this is football. I don't care the type of family man he is. I don't care if he's a God-fearing Christian. I don't care about any of that. I care, do you win on Saturdays? And for 6 years, He's had 2 seasons. We'll see what this season ultimately ends up being. But in 2 years, he's had in 6 years, he's had 2 winning seasons. And those other seasons, we're talking 3 games, 5 games, and 2 games. Let me read some comments. I saw Briley with a long one. I want to check out what Briley is saying. Briley saying, Poke, this loss was on tackling in our secondary. Tommy not taking what they gave him. And an offensive game plan that had no identity. TC throwing the ball 40 times is... Listen. What do we always say? If TC's throwing the ball more than 25 times a game, you're probably not winning that game. That is not what he is. It's not what he should be. We knew that. I believe the staff knows that. But when you start off from behind, they tried to do what they had to do to get back in the game, I guess. Are there pieces on this team to build on? Sure, there's some. I don't care what TC's eligibility is. I pray to God he's not the quarterback next year. If we can't upgrade that position, expect a similar season next year. I'm talking mediocre, 8-4, something like that. He cannot be your quarterback next year. I'll say that. You have, I guess, some running back pieces you can work with. You definitely got a nice young receiving core, which is probably the best thing and the most thing that you should be high on is your young receivers. Some young defensive linemen that you should probably be high on. I would love to say a secondary that you could be high on, but damn, if I can't see any of these young guys, I don't know. Are they not ready? Or are they not any good? I don't know. Does Leicester really suck? Because 19 can't be any. This is like, I feel like this is where my frustration draws. Even though I say I'm not going to let this team get me angry, I'm not going to let this team get me upset. This is where the frustration draws for me, because every single year I feel like I come on here and I'm saying the same thing about a Mike Norvell-led team. I'm always saying, well, last year it was Elijah Moore and these young receivers. They can't be any worse than Kentron Portier. They can't be any worse than who's the kid that dropped all them passes, the tight end. I don't even remember his damn name. That's how much I'm glad he's gone. Can't be any worse than that guy. Every year I get on here and I go, well, these young guys can't be any worse. But yet every year here we are. We're saying the same things over and over. And now this year I'm like, Leicester can't be worse than 19. He can't be. But I guess he is. I guess he is. It's that's the frustrating part. It's every year when it comes to a Norvell football team. It's like, why does it take our freshmen? Why does it seem to take? Well, this is a rhetorical question because I know the answer. Yeah, more lock, more drops. Yeah. Why does it seem to take our freshmen so long to make an impact? You know why? Because we don't recruit top-tier guys. We just don't. And that's what that is, man. That's what that is. Tribal War says Mike panics too much. The sad part is we called a timeout and still went with it on 4th and damn 8. Good win, man. Good win, Miami. Game should have been, I don't know. The game, I guess, played out how it should have, to be quite honest with you. When you look at the way the two rosters are built. Does that mean that FSU's dead on the year? Dead is in what term? Is the better question I would go over. Do I think Florida State's dead? Not dead in the sense of making a bowl game, obviously, right? You still got a bowl game ahead of you. But I said after Virginia, you can't go 0-2 in ACC play. And they're 0-2 in ACC play. You can pretty much chalk that up, right? You're not winning the ACC. You're not playing for the ACC title. Virginia won today, by the way. So that would have helped. I mean, Penn State lost. Texas lost. Virginia won. Had you come out here and won this football game, you're right back in the thick of it. But you didn't do that. TC said he came here to save jobs. My friend, this is why I didn't like that comment. Like I can now get into like nitpicking everything this dude has said and done because this is why I had a problem with that preseason talk. You came here to save jobs, bruh. You've never been the caliber of quarterback to save anyone's job. To save anyone's job. I've been doing the YouTube channels. Broward County says our pass rush is horrible. I've been doing this YouTube thing, I want to say, since 2019. I think in 2019 is when I started. I've been talking about the caliber of defensive linemen that we have recruited since the moment I started this channel. The only bright spots on the D line is when they go out and they get somebody in the portal, whether it's a Jermaine or a Verse. Who have they recruited that you go, ha, they built that dude? Like, it don't exist. They don't recruit them. They can't recruit them. Number 10 played. He didn't start, but number 10 definitely played in tonight's game. Number 10 definitely played. Georgia Tech and Virginia in the ACC championship. Well, somebody's got to beat Miami first. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, you just at some point, man, you got to pull the trigger. Got to pull the trigger and start this thing. I don't know who the next coach is. And to be frank with you, I don't think Mike's getting fired this year anyway. So a lot of this stuff doesn't even matter. But if you want to specifically talk about this game, I mean, Miami just really did what they wanted. I think Carson Beck at one point was like 18 of 21 for like 236 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's crazy. It's crazy stat. It's crazy stat. It's crazy stat. They didn't. I have to go check the stats. I don't think Miami. I think in the first half, Miami only had like a 30 yards rushing or something like that. I don't know what they ended up finishing with on the night. I think I said at halftime, I was like, okay, like you've left points on the board, which is now that's now becoming a trend where you continue to start leaving points on the board. Whether it's because of turnovers or whatever the case, or not executing in the red zone. Offensively, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It boils down to 2 things offensively. Gus, and I said it. Gus Malzahn's gonna be Gus Malzahn. So some of that stuff he's gonna do some of that stuff you're gonna love, and some of that stuff you're gonna be like, man, why don't we just do X, Y, and Z? Why don't we just run the ball? Why don't we just, whatever that is, why don't we just do it? Because Gus thinks he's a mad genius and he's going to do stuff like that. But to me, it really boils down to your quarterback play, man. I said it in the first half at halftime. Your quarterback left plays on the field. There were guys running open in that secondary. All you had to do was hit them. All you had to do was see them. There were plays to be made. That might be the most, from strictly this game perspective. That's probably the biggest thing that is disappointing. Is all you got to do is hit them. The plays are there to be made. Better quarterback maybe yields better results. Not a maybe. I mean, it most likely, it definitely does. Ronaldo Gonzalez says Miami hasn't played anyone yet. Well, that includes FSU. They've played nobody. FSU's a nobody, as well as all the other teams. Notre Dame, Florida, all those teams are nobodies. So all Miami has to do is beat a bunch of nobodies, and guess where they're going to be at the end of it all? They're going to be in the college football playoff. So just continue beating nobodies. At some point, you got to give credit where credit is due. We did run the ball well, but we were playing from behind. That was the problem. Because we didn't convert when we needed to. When you're playing from behind, you got to throw the ball. And we just don't have that type of quarterback. How has Miami not played anyone? We just blew y'all out. Y'all had the top offense. Plus, we all were at home. The D-line played pretty good for the most part. This last week it was, and I'm going to be honest with you, last week to me it was definitely the defense, right? Your defense just pissed down their legs. This game it was the offense. Miami only scored 28. They only scored 28 points. Half of my prediction was right. I had FSU 31-28. That was my prediction, 31-28. We couldn't get 30. Damn it. That's what happened. Why wait long to get Boggs and McCoy going? Boggs is hurt, so he didn't play in this game. And also, we don't have any better option than putting Medley at tackle, and Pettis went down and bang. Yes. So that was one of the reasons why that first drive was so successful. And I think, in the first quarter, the initial part of the game was pretty promising. And then Pettis went out. And yeah, when Pettis went out, you move Medley to that left tackle. And I agree. I don't know why I do know why. You honestly know why. We all know why. We know why there's not a tackle. And Alex Atkins. Let's just call it what it is. Who's the tackle on the Lucas Simmons obviously ain't ready, or they would have threw him in there. They obviously did not want Lucas Simmons going against Ruben Bay. I don't even blame them. Who had we recruited in the last 4 years to be ready to play in place of Micah Pettis? Nobody. That's why we took 5 offensive. Actually, technically, how many? I think we took 7 O linemen in the transfer portal. 2 of them we took in as projects, backups, and 6 offensive linemen. 4 of them we knew were going to go right into being in the starting lineup. It's the reason why you took that many offensive linemen in the transfer portal, because we didn't have them. We know we didn't have them. We said it all offseason. If an O lineman go down, knock on wood, some of these questions we ask, we already knew the answers to. But again, that Bama game fooled us, man. That Bama game put a lot of fool's gold in our heads, and we thought we had something more. And the truth is, you are what you are. Mike even gave Atkins a promotion. Ain't that some shit? Boggs came in and got a catch. At least that's what Herbstreit said. Did he? I'm pretty sure Boggs was on the injury report is not playing, but maybe he did come in and get a catch. I'm not going to lie to you guys. From about the midway through the third quarter, I just had the game on. I stopped watching it. I'm not even going to lie to you. So anything that happened in the third quarter, from about halfway through the third, to most of the fourth quarter, I didn't pay much attention to, didn't care. Even when I saw, oh, they're doing a little comeback thing, that was fool's gold in and of itself. I didn't pay attention to it. So I'm not even going to lie to you. Anything that happened in the third and fourth quarter, I couldn't tell you because I didn't watch it. Because I didn't watch it. Plays were there. TC played the type of game he's shown to play the majority of. Yeah, I mean, the real comes out. The real comes out eventually. This is what I was saying all offseason. You can get on that podium and you can give all the highlight reel clips and all the quotes and all the I'm here to save the job and I'm here to whoop Bama and I'm here to do X and I'm here to do this. You're going to get on that field and your play is going to dictate all of that. You can have all the amazing quotes you want. Your play is going to dictate how you're remembered and how you're talked about. Thomas Castellanos is who I always thought he was. I went and got food. Yeah, I don't blame you. I stopped watching in the third. Legit, I stopped watching the game. Beck will get Heisman talk the rest of the year. He probably will. It's a quarterback award. Miami's going to be they are a top 3 team. Beck will have and he'll have solid statistics. I don't think he's going to have like amazing numbers, but he's going to have good enough numbers where he'll be in the Heisman talk. I agree with you. I agree with this to some degree. I thought they went to the bullshit too early in the game. We tried to do the reverse. I don't know why Gus went to that stuff so early and why we didn't try to set some of that stuff up. Like, how about a couple fake reverses to get Miami biting on it? No, we just went straight into the reverses, and it's like, well, Miami has been watching tape. They're keying in on Micah Danzy, obviously. He's not a secret anymore. Right? He's not a secret anymore. So, yeah, Gus had some questionable stuff. Gus was doing some questionable stuff. Your quarterback does questionable stuff. I mean, the offense failed you today. I 100% take this loss on the offense, and the head coaching I think Mike had some very questionable decisions. Even though I will say this, and I'll say it again, on that fourth and 8 that we went for it, the play's there to be made. TC doesn't make the play. So, yeah, we can go back and forth on all of that. We can go back and forth on all of that. TC, again, that kid's who I thought he was. Beck balled out. Is you crazy? When I say big numbers, I'm talking 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. I don't think Beck's going to get that because the Miami offense doesn't dictate that he gets those numbers. That's what I mean. It doesn't mean he won't have good numbers. That doesn't mean he won't have Heisman because, frankly, the Michigan running back is probably the best offensive player in the country, at least. He'll probably be in the mix for the Heisman. Can you think of any other players that's in the Heisman race right now? So Beck's in there. But when I say big numbers, that's what I'm talking about. You go look at most Heisman winning quarterbacks like a Jaden Daniels, a Kyler Murray. You're talking 4K plus, 40 touchdowns plus. I don't think Beck has those numbers. I don't. And that's not even a knock on Carson Beck. That is just the Miami offense. They don't need to do that. 20 for 27. He'll go back. I missed that. 20 for 27, 4 TDs. Those are good numbers. Those are good numbers. That's probably, if he does that the rest of the year, we're talking 3,000 plus yards and 30 plus touchdowns. But those are good numbers. When I say crazy, I mean y'all don't act like college football and we haven't seen crazy numbers. Like, we know what I mean when I say crazy. I know we want to get in here, want to nitpick stuff. Y'all know what I mean when I say crazy numbers. Anyway, not going to spend much time on that. I don't even think it's that important to debate those type of numbers. What's up, Pope? Fourth and eight play call really came back to bite us in the ass, huh? Well, only because you threw the interception that was returned for like 30, 40 yards or something like that. So they ended up getting better field position. Even if you had just incomplete, incomplete pass, they ended up having better field position on that. So, yeah, the fourth and eight play, you got to play like this is where analytics is killing football. This is where analytics is 100% killing football. I don't know. Again, and the play was actually there to be made, which makes that fourth and eight call even that more frustrating. Um, but this is where analytics is killing football because I don't know in a 7-3 ball game, your defense is playing relatively well through the first couple drives. Your offense showed a spark in the beginning. I'm not sure why you just didn't take the field position battle there. Don't understand that. So the fourth and eight call definitely comes back to bite you because why didn't you just try to pin them deep in their own territory and try to flip field position? I'm not so sure. Because the analytics tell you to go for it. It's like coaches don't coach anymore. Coaches go to the spreadsheet to determine it's like coaches these days don't have a feel for the football game. They just say, "Oh, the numbers, the statistics say we should do this." What? What do you mean? What happened to good coaching? What happened to just I don't know. What happened to good coaching? It's a lost art in college football these days. It really is a lost art. Bro, we got to stop trying to not wrapping up tackling. Another game of piss poor tackling and stupid penalties. What's up, Pat? We didn't get Ottoman involved enough either. Who's Ottoman? Oh, you meant Pittman. That's because TC can't find him. Pittman is open on a lot of stuff. TC just can't find him. Are you saying throwing your back at a player isn't a good way of tackling? Our defense wasn't going to stop them. You don't know that. I hate when we do that. You don't know that. At that point of the game, it's 7-3. You pin him inside the 10. You don't know that. You don't know that. They stopped them on their first drive of the game. You don't know that. To say we weren't going to stop them there as if the score was 21-3 and Miami had just been moving up and down the football field. You don't know that. The entire first half, it was only 14-3. Miami didn't take their foot off the gas until the second half, if you really want to talk about that. Like, yeah. Pittman's a player. Is Pittman a junior or a senior? I hope we get him back next year. I just hope we get him back with a better quarterback. Pittman a junior or a senior? I have to look that up. But Pittman's a good one. He's one of those good portal additions. I like LaWayne McCoy. LaWayne McCoy looks way better than he did last year, doesn't he? Shout out to LaWayne. Hope we get another quarterback to help him out too. Like I said, there's some good pieces to build on. I definitely think there's some good pieces to build on. But I'm tired of every year getting to a certain point in the season and we start talking about what we're building on for next year. It's a little frustrating. McCoy needs more targets. Yeah, I would agree with that. McCoy was also hurt for the first 3 games of the season, so they're kind of getting him back in the swing of things. But I expect McCoy probably to be where's Squirrel White at? Like, where's number 4? Where's number 4? Pittman's a junior, good, so we have a chance to keep him. So we got some good pieces, but you gotta get it together this year. Again, bowl games obviously still in the picture. You're what? What is FSU 3-2? Yeah, you're 3-2 now. Going in the pit. If you go to if you are 3-3 after the Pitt game, I would say get a little nervous, FSU fans. If you can't beat Pitt, you might want to get a little nervous. Briley says, from here, where are we at? Do we make it to the next bye week at 5-2? Do we have a team that can make a respectable season, or do we crumble based on the fourth quarter? Based on the fourth quarter, sure. Again, I didn't watch much of the second half of this game. And I'm not here to really spew any of the bull or BS moral victory crap. But no, I don't think the team quit. I'm tired of saying that every week too. I'm tired of always saying that after a loss. Oh, they didn't quit. Like it's like the bare minimum. I'm tired of saying that. But yes, they didn't quit. I think someone said they saw TC crying after the game. I don't know if that's true. But that might tell you where your quarterback's head at. Yeah, Beba. We go to Tuscaloosa, right? we go to them next year. We beat them this year, so we can hang our hat on that. I'm hoping we get to 9-3. Pitt just made a QB change. Moral victories are tiring. I'm telling you, no, sir. The moral shit is tiring. I'm tired of talking about building off of losses. Remember last week when you had Thomas Castellanos and other guys be like, "Oh, it's a good loss. You never need a loss. If you played sports, anybody who played sports at any level really will tell you you can learn the same things in a win that you can learn in a loss. So I don't want to hear about, oh, we needed a loss to grow. Man, shut up. No, you don't. That's called coping. I didn't hear about him crying. I see he's taking accountability for his loss. He told the team it's on him. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad he's taking accountability. He should. Again, and I didn't see him crying. Someone said he was. Whether that, again, probably wasn't true. That's just what I heard. Someone said, yeah, I said that at halftime. FSU was point shaving. Maybe. 19 had a bet on this game because 19 was terrible. 19 was terrible. Well, we don't talk about War Chant over here, New King. You should know that. Because it don't matter what War Chant said. Y'all know what I said. Ain't no such thing as a good loss. Don't believe it. Never have. There goes a plane. I need to get on a plane. But again, I want to honestly, I want to give all the credit to Miami. They've built the team the right way. And I said it before and I'll say it again. In a year like this, where you just watched, it looks like anybody can beat anybody. We saw Bama beat a Georgia team who lost to Florida State. You saw Penn State lose to UCLA, which is wild. And they've lost to Oregon. You've seen Texas lose two. Like, college football is wide open. Miami's built the team the right way, and if you can control the line of scrimmage, you can win a football game. And Miami can control the line of scrimmage on both sides, which means they can win a lot of football games. Galaxy says that was a crazy narrative about the team losing was good for them and bad for Miami. He was crying, telling the team it's his fault he let him down. Okay, well, have that same energy with Norvell if he gets fired. I want you to say, I got you fired, Mike, because you're supposed to save his job. That's why you don't say things like that. There goes that Juarez drug plane. Greg Champion in the building. He says, man, that dub ass fourth today hurt us. Jesus Christ, man. But they fought at the end. But man, we're gonna have to shake that defense up. I said it against Virginia, and I'll say it here again. And this ain't, a knock on you, Grand Champion, but y'all keep talking about shake things up. With who? Who's waiting in the wings on that defense that you can say, well, put them in and they'll play better? The only position group I can think of is the secondary. And again, I don't know why, but we ain't seeing Charles Lester. We ain't seeing Kai Bates. And we're not seeing these young Arno. We won't get to see them. They still sticking with 19. And Shaheem Brown still playing a lot of snaps for you for some weird reason. Ashton Barker was out this game. So I guess that's why Shaheem had to play as much as he played. But yes, we can shake things up. But who are you putting in? When you don't recruit, who are you putting? Where's the talent? Where's the players? Yes. And Jimbo was crying today on the ACC network about being back at Florida. If y'all don't bring that man back to Tallahassee, just make sure we hire a coordinator, offensive coordinator. But we talking about this recruiting thing that I keep bringing up this recruiting thing because I think it matters. I know Jimbo Fisher gonna get the players. That much I know. We'll make everything else work. Man, bring that guy back. He want. You can see it with Jimbo that he wants to get back into coaching, and with Arkansas and UCLA and all these, he may get an opportunity. Unfortunately, it won't be Garnet and Gold, but he probably will get another opportunity. Kevin Wynn played. Kevin Wynn did play. What did I say about Kevin Wynn? That's a true nose. He's Daryl Jackson. He's the future replacement for. Speaking of Daryl Jackson, another good game from him. I know people are going to be like, Daryl Jackson. Go watch. Another good game from Jack. There's no one around him. I mean, the Twins keep playing well, but they're young. They're not exactly twitchy, but they play well. But Kevin Wynn is not like the expectation that Kevin Wynn is going to come in and like again be this as a true freshman. Like I don't know. I don't know what the expectation is. I don't know what the expectation is. No, he's not at all. He's not good at man coverage at all. We'll be 24 tomorrow. We will be out of the top 25. I'm convinced of that. No, I don't think I think the Dion stuff is dead. Nobody wants Dion. Colorado's playing, or they were playing. I don't know if that game finished, and I don't know. I don't even know who Colorado was or is playing this week. And I don't know if they won or lost. Doesn't really matter. I'm not talking about Dion. I don't know. Did Chroma see another? I know did 32. That's a good question. I don't remember seeing 32 get another carry after the phone. No, I think he did. I think he did. Alfred need to pull the trigger. Grand champion. Alfred need to pull the seriously. Might be time to pull the trigger. Colorado lost. Yes, I said that at the beginning, Corey. Defense played good enough to win. I don't know what happened to the offense this game. Just like last year, offense played good last week. Offense played good enough to win. Don't know what happened to the defense. So we're just gonna keep doing this, I guess, every week. What FSU fans have 60 million? It doesn't matter what the FSU fans have. It's another talking point that I hate. How much? Who gonna pay 60 million? Don't matter. They found money for stadium renovations. They found over $100 million for a football only facility. If they want it bad enough, they will pay whatever the price is to pay. They don't want it bad enough yet. That ain't got nothing to do with the FSU fan. It got everything to do with the administration. It's not our job to come up with $60 million. How much money was made tonight in a packed stadium? How much money did they pull in tonight? Them tickets were crazy too, by the way. I was checking the tickets out. You're talking about $300-$400 a seat. How much money they made with 60-something thousand people in the stands at $300 a pop? Let's just say a flat rate of $300 a pop. Someone get the calculator out and do the math. It's not FSU's fan. The fans' job is doing exactly what they do: coming to stadiums and selling them out and paying them money for their tickets. It's not FSU fans' job to get a buyout at all. The truth of the matter is that if we played to our potential this season, we'd be 3-2 with losses to Bama and Miami. But we played over against Bama and under against UVA, and just about at talent to UM. So we are actually right on pace. We're actually right on pace. What I said at the beginning of the season, we're on pace to the season that I thought. 8-4, 7-5. Very realistic goal. I don't understand why the OC ran so many end arounds before other opponents already saw. Yeah, and like I said, they didn't set them up. It was my issue. It's not that you called the end arounds or the reverses or whatever. It's that you didn't set the play up. We didn't set them up with a couple fakes, right? Those looks to get Miami. No, we just went right straight into it. Miami was ready for it. Look at that. So if you do the math, just tonight they made $24 million. Where all that money's going, who knows? Damn sure could go to a buyout, though, is all I'm saying. I missed the point. I was talking to someone in the chat. You even said yourself the buyout's too. I do think the buyout's too high because I think there's other things that FSU wants to pay for, and I think a lot of it is leaning towards the buyout. When that ACC buyout reaches a certain level, that's where I think the money's going to go. And I think you're stuck with Mike Norvell at least until they buy them way. Unless Mike Norvell just completely falls off the map, I think it's more cost efficient to just stick with Norvell, save money for the buyout that you're eventually going to pay to get out of the ACC. So I do agree with that. I do agree that he's not getting fired. I'm just talking about, like, saying that, oh, we ain't got the money for it. Yes, there you go, Joe. In boxing terms, utilize the jab to set up the other punches. Yep. And we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We came out the gate swinging left hooks and uppercuts. Everybody knows an uppercut don't land unless you set it up with something. Unless you're Roy Jones, that hook don't land unless you're setting it up with something. There you go, Joe. Papucci should have been fired last year. Napier might have more wins than Norvell. Plus, they just built that new football facility. Got to recruit from that first. But maybe they should F it and buy him out anyways. We looked like Canelo tonight. We ran the Little Giants playbook. Man, we yeah. Got to get better. Got to get better going forward. The schedule isn't tough. The ACC continues to show that it is a sucky conference week in and week out. So the schedule's not tough, but I said it against Virginia, and I don't think they came out in this game like that. I definitely think they came out in the Virginia game as if they were just better. We are not the team that can come out there and think we just going to come out and win every game. So you got to be, Miami was prepared for everything on defense. Again, Miami played it again. I'm not taking anything away from Miami, but I don't believe we set our big shots. I don't think we set anything up. We would run it. This is starting to become a trend with Gus. Is we'll have a couple decent runs and then we'll go away from it for some weird reason, like conventional run game. We'll do well, and then he wants to do some trickery, and it's like, well, let's keep doing. Let's lull him to sleep with the run game, and then we can set up these other things. But instead, we don't. One big run isn't enough. Two big runs isn't enough. Like, let's keep doing it, and it's just like, I don't know if Gus gets trigger happy. I don't know what that is. The problem is that Norvell knows that he's stealing money at this point. He's got no reason to give up money, but deep down in the place he don't talk about at parties, he's right. Briley's stupid. These college football coaches are such a scam with the buyouts. A buyout shouldn't apply unless another team wants to hire you. I agree, but that's why being a college football coach is the best job in America, because it's the only job that you get paid for sucking. It's the only job that you get rewarded. Mike Norvell gets rewarded for sucking. If you keep him, he's making $10 million a year. If you get rid of him, he gets a big old chunk of $60 million. And that's all the college coaches around the country. That's what I'm saying, Grand Champion. I only did $300 as a flat rate across the board. That's not including any of the $1,000, $2,000 seats. The prices for this game was ridiculous. $300 is I'm probably being kind when I say a $300 flat rate. I'm probably being kind there. I think even some of the cheap seats went for about $4. Hold on. Let me try to get this comment up. Norvell ain't going anywhere this season, and if he doesn't finish with top 10 recruiting class, which he's never done, so that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this year. Never finished with the top 10 class, so don't expect all of a sudden for him to do so. I don't believe any game on the schedule. I mean, I'd have to look at the rest of the schedule, but is there I think we play Stanford, but I think we got to go to California. Stanford might be a guaranteed win, but outside of Stanford, would y'all guarantee any win on the remaining schedule? Like guarantee it. Say that's a Bona fide bucket. Not so sure. Norvell is collecting money in an era where lying to recruits and overpaying NIL is a requisite. While Norvell refuses to play the recruiting game while playing the do what's right for you game. What I think it is that a lot of coaches will shift away from the basics and what's working because they get bored doing it and they want a home run play so bad, like boxing. Then you get pieced up. I mean, basic coaching 101. Weathermen also get paid for sucking. That's fair, but at least the weather's almost impossible to predict. Football's not a very tough game. It's not. I've said that a bunch of times. Football is not a very complicated game. Tropical Sprite. Good stuff. I know. So again, if we really dug into it, how much money was pulled in at the gates when you add all the tickets? Wake, okay, so maybe two guaranteed games. Stanford and Wake, that gives you the 5 wins. Virginia Tech, I would like to say, because Virginia Tech's not any good, I would like to say that's a guaranteed game, but the way we do things, drones will look like Lamar Jackson against us. Kurt Herbstreit gets paid for sucking. Vodtech 6. Yeah, I would like to say Vodtech. I'm just not sure I feel confident in that. Football is a super complicated game when you prioritize ethics over success, which is what makes Norvell a great guy and a horrible coach in this era. Just saying. Get them Jags out of the defense. No big timers. Game changing players are needed. It's mind blowing watching the boys blow a 12 and 17 setup. You need difference makers on that defensive line, man. Do I think Pitt could sneak it? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Pitt could win that game. Not at all. Don't think so. Why aren't this corners playing better? I thought Surtain was the man. Well, it's only one corner, and we just need to bench him. Rawls to me is still your best corner. I think he's playing well, despite it all. I think Rawls continues to play well. 19 sucks, and that's why Miami picked on him, because he sucks. Hey, good for you, Florida born and raised. Please go troll somewhere else. Notice I haven't paid you any attention. So, and no one else has, by the way. So that's why you're bored. I get tired of people in this fan base making excuses. I've been saying that. I think Pitt is on the road, if I'm not mistaken. I think Pitt's on the road, if I'm not mistaken. They got to figure it out, man. Love you, Pope. Won't be watching Pitt until Sunday, and only watching it if we win. But maybe I'll check this week out for Wednesday. Take care. Hey, appreciate you, Bradley. I don't blame you. I don't. I'll be honest. And speaking of that Pitt game, um, I'm. I don't even know if I'm gonna go live for that weekend. I might be out of town. Might be. Don't know yet. If I'm here, I'll go live because I won't have. I don't have a life, so I won't have anything else to do. But if I do go out of town, I won't be going live for that. So we'll see. Pitt's a home game. Okay. I thought it was a road game, but it's a home game. Have to admit, Cristobal built that O line from the ground up steadily. Since hiring Norvell, FSU has been rocky. Then transcended quickly with no real base, and the result after 5 years is clear. I'm sure they made $100 million between Bama till now, and the tickets be $400 plus. Get his ass out of here with me, Jimbo. I wish FSU played a conference opponent right after Alabama instead of this set up UVA on the Friday night before the biggest rival. Well, the schedule played out how the schedule played out. They knew how the schedule played out, and they still didn't prepare themselves for it. So I don't know. You can blame the schedule makers, or you can blame the coach. You can blame whoever you want. At this point, it doesn't really matter who you blame, whether you want to blame players, coaches. Um, it honestly doesn't even matter. Um, it's really tiring. At some point, you gotta. At some point, it just would be nice to say, "I'm tired." It would be nice to say something other than, "We played hard, and we got pieces to build upon." You keep saying we have pieces to build upon. Every year we have pieces. Every year we have pieces. Um, the ACC scheduled FSU 2 road Friday games this week before our biggest rival. You blocked me. I haven't blocked anybody. If I blocked you, you wouldn't be in here talking. So you're not blocked. And I don't block people unless they say something out of pocket. So obviously you're not blocked. Obviously, when I said what I said, you got sensitive, which is why you replied that way you replied. Shaheem Brown really looked lost last. Well, Shaheem Brown looks lost most nights. Our pieces go pro or graduate. Our pieces are transfer portal pieces, Braden. That's why, right? Because we're getting 1 year rentals out of our best players usually. Man, we really need to keep Billy winning. So he will get rid of Mike. Cincinnati will still be on the board. I mean, y'all think the Indiana coach is? Do y'all think the Indiana coach could come into Florida and recruit? I'm not knocking the man as a coach. Obviously, Indiana's a good football team. And has been the last 2 years. I am asking, is he a fit? We always talk about that when we talk about bringing in other coaches. One of the big things I always point to is like, is he a fit? Is he a fit? Can he come into Florida and do what other states don't really require? Right? Florida's the hotbed of recruiting in the country because you're not just recruiting against Florida, Miami. All the other schools come into Florida too and try to get the best players. Is Cincinnati that guy? I don't know. He might be. I mean, I don't know if people thought Urban Meyer was that guy. Urban Meyer, who coached at Bowling Green in Utah. I don't know if people thought that Urban Meyer could come into Florida and do what he did, but he did it. So there's always a chance. So I'm not saying that Cincinnati isn't an option. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be considered. I'm not saying he wouldn't do a hell of a job. I just don't know. Q was he was hurt. He did not play this game. That's why he didn't see 16. He was on the injury report. He was ruled out. Him and Ashton Barker was ruled out. Yeah, Joe, I see that. I see that. That's why I just, sometimes you do have to address certain foolishness. Sometimes you ignore it. Shy hasn't looked, yeah, Shy hasn't looked good since playing alongside Akeem Dent. That's the last time Shaheem Brown looked like a competent football player, which is 2023. Shy hasn't looked good since. King Cook says, no, we need a fit coach that understands the Florida football culture. The only fit is Lane. Everybody saying Lane. Lanning or Lane. My only negative against Lane is he's terrible in November. Lane is the SEC coach through and through. He's not leaving the SEC. Unk will go into Clemson Bowl eligible. I hope so. If FSU were to pick Jimbo up again, at least recruiting would improve. It's hilarious to think. Real talk, the UVA game really took a lot out of his team. They are at a crossroads right now. You think the UVA? I don't think so. I got a different take. I think the team, honestly, I think the team is what I thought they were. I do think the team is what I thought they were going to be. Because before the season, you would have told me before the season I had Bama and Miami as a loss anyway. Unfortunately, you beat Bama, so you just traded the Bama L with the UVA L. So I don't know if it really took a lot out of the team. I just think the team is on pace for what I thought they were going to be. So I really shouldn't be that angry. I really shouldn't, which I'm not angry, but I really shouldn't be that surprised or concerned because I think the team is trending the way I thought they would. It is frustrating to see you play a certain way against a good football team in Alabama, only to then revert back to the team that you thought maybe you had left. But that is, that's what happens. That's my fault. I let the Bama game get the best of me. I let the fact that we were putting 70 points on high school teams get the best of me. But ultimately, this team is about what I thought they would be. Manny Diaz over Norvell. Saban didn't have a problem with Cignetti recruiting his wide receivers and running backs. This is the record I expect. Bama was a surprise, and VA was disappointing. We go to lose more. We're not supposed to lose. No one is clamoring for Jimbo. Jimbo is just a better recruiter than Mike Norvell. I think there's some clamoring for Jimbo. I think people just want to change, man. I think some people. I think there are still those that are holding on. I don't know why. I don't understand it. I don't know what Mike Norvell has done to instill this type of loyalty from a certain section of this fan base, but there is still a large section of this fan base that wants to believe in Mike Norvell. I don't know why, but they do. And I don't know what he's done to earn any of that. Unless you want to take the one season. I guess that one season has earned him something. I don't know. The problem is just that you follow that up with 13-1 was awesome. I don't even think the 10-win season is that. I don't even think that plays that much into it. I do think that 13-1 season. The problem is you follow that up with the worst season in Big 3 history. It'd have been one thing if you were like a 6-6 football team. Okay. Hell, I would have took another 5-win season. 2-10 is, in my opinion, those two seasons cancel each other out. That's just me though. 2-10 cancels out 13-0 for me. Y'all can have it if y'all think that 13-0 is amazing, and I get it. The college football snub happened, and all of that happened. I'm not disagreeing with you, but you followed it up with 2-10. Whew, it's tough. A lot of people saying we don't have the talent, but take away the 3 turnovers and we win this game. Maybe. I mean, maybe. You still would have had to convert in the red zone. You still would have had to do. There's still a lot of things you would have had to do. And turnovers happen. So I don't know. If we would have got Cam Ward, what would our record be? Don't know. Mike has set all the most negative record. Yes, Mike Norvell he's had a lot of firsts, a lot of bad first times. But I get it. He has a loyal fan base. Mike Norvell does. Yes, I agree. 13-0 looks like an anomaly because every other season has been a losing season. Again, and then there's the 10-win season. So in 2 years, he had a 23-4 record. That's a hell of a record. 2 ACC championships. No, excuse me, only 1 ACC championship. He did not win the ACC in that 10-win season, a 9-win regular season. He's got, in 6 years, he got 1 ACC title, 1 undefeated regular season. That's what we are literally pinning everything on that 1 year. So we'll see. I don't disagree. I was never a fan of the way Jimbo left. I thought it was, he left it in a bad way, but here we are. Turnovers happen, but also change games, especially 3 of them. Turnovers do happen. And of course, 3 of them definitely changed the game. But the point is you still had to look at the turnover, especially the 1 turnover on that 4th and 8. Like, even if you don't turn the ball over there, if you don't convert the 4th down, Miami still has good field position. So I don't know. I would never be completely sold on Mike after losing to Duke. So he's an average football coach, but that shouldn't be news to anybody. We know he's average at best. We know that. Yes, Sawchuck. I agree, Braden. Sawchuck was wide open. You didn't see him. So, yeah, I think 2-10 happened, and after that, Mike Norvell has pinned his success on Gus Malzahn and Thomas Castellanos. Here we are. KCS, I'm loyal to Mike in the fact I want the Noles to win. However, he is now our Atkins, and I call for him to be gone after 22. You can be loyal my thing is you can be loyal to the Noles and not be loyal to the head coach. If you want the Noles to win, sometimes you got to cut the cancer out. And am I saying Mike Norvell's a cancer in terms of like being a bad person? None of that. No, not. But at some point at the University of at Florida State University, right, you have to be able to get elite guys and win big football games. His record against rivals. What is Mike's record against rivals? It's probably 500 or something like that. I know he's now 2-2 with Mario Cristobal. I know he lost once to Manny and beat Manny once. So against Miami, he's 500. He's 3-3. He's average. So against Miami, he's average. Against Florida, he is. He was what? 0-2 against Mullen. Then he beat Florida 2 straight years. So we'll see. We'll see if he's he might end up being 3-3 against Florida by the end of the season. And then against Dabo, he's only beat him once. So he don't beat the rivals consistently. Man, just rambling on here. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just rambling. Mike is relying on TC like Sarkisian is on to Arch Manning, which is pretty much over for him. And I'll take Sark to come here. Arch Manning is so bad. I can't even believe it. It's really crazy to see how bad Arch Manning is. TC got to learn to check downs because throwing 50-50 balls will dig you in the holes. He didn't lose them. He did lose the day. Oh, well, my bad. Dan Mullen was fired by the time. No, but he lost in year 1 against Florida. Did we play Florida in the COVID year? Oh, I don't think we played Florida in the COVID year. You're right. That's when Florida had Trask and it's COVID and SEC only played SEC games and ACC only played AC games. So you're right. He didn't lose the McMullen in year 1 because we didn't play. We would have. Let's just be honest, right? Let's be honest. We would have got blown out by that Florida team. But we didn't lose to Florida in year 1 because we didn't play him. And I think Mullen was fired. So you're absolutely right. Never lost to Mullen because Mullen got fired. That's even worse. You lost an interim head coach for your rival. So that actually is worse. But you're right. Never lost to Dan Mullen. You are right. You are 100% right. Peyton said Arch was adopted. Yeah, they're going to disown Arch Manning. They're definitely going to disown him. So he's 2-2 against Florida. He's only beat Clemson. There you go. That's his record against the rivals, man. So let Mike Norvell tell it. It's all about the response. How do you respond? Well, yeah, Mike. How have you responded after 6 years of doing the same shit? As you can tell, like I just don't have the energy, man, to get in here and really be mad. I'm not mad. I am not mad. Refs tried to keep it close, which frustrated me. Y'all was holding all night. Here you go. The man won, and Zay's still in here talking about refs. Still in here talking about the refs. We had Willie, and he couldn't coach. We got Mike, and he can't recruit. So now we have to find a coach that can do both. Yeah, that's usually what winning football teams are able to do. Have a coach that can do a little bit of both, right? A little bit. If anyone was planning to watch the Mike presser, I'll save you. I never watch the Mike's presser. Even in a win, I don't actually watch Mike Norvell's pressers. But anyway, he will say things like what it means, what that looks like, what that feels like, what the response. He's so appreciative. F Mike, pretty sure we're all just tired of. Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of it, which is why I can't get excited about. Like, I don't even think I was super excited about the Bama win, if y'all remember that. Like it's hard for me to get super excited about anything. It's hard for me to get down about anything at this point. It's just no point. Just no point at this. It's just no point. It's just no point. I will continue to be garnet and gold till I'm dead and cold. But as far as this whole Mike Norvell thing, I've been out on him. And I said if he could go 9-3, 9-3 would get me to shut up. He's still able. He still might have an opportunity to do that. But we'll see. We'll see. You lose the pit, you got to go. We'll see. We'll see. The team hasn't been responding to adversity with winning results since 2023. Yeah. Yep. And FSU had a lot of recruits at that game, man. Hopefully they offered big enough bags to some of them because the win or loss doesn't help. Maybe they enjoyed the experience and want to go play in Doak. I don't know. They had a lot of recruits at that game, though. 6-2 walking into Clemson. I think most people would take that. I'd take that. I mean, at this point, we're already 3-2. So you win the next 3 games and you're 6-2 walking into Clemson. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. That's all you can ask for at this point. All you can ask for at this point is to finish somewhat strong. Whether that's if you can win out and be 10-2, that would be amazing. It wouldn't get you in the playoff, I don't believe, unless a couple teams along the way take a couple more L's. But what it does do is you finish on a high note. 10-2 is nothing to sneeze at. That's a good damn year. You can build off of that, I think. I'm just tired of climbing, guys. We've been talking about the climb for 6 years. I'm just tired of climbing. Eventually, you got to get to the top of the mountain, ladder, hill, cliff, gate, whatever it is you're climbing, damn it. At some point, you got to get there. That is my issue with the climb. I've been climbing for 6 damn years. When do I get to the top of the damn whatever it is? The stool. Climb something. Just climb something. I don't know. The play calling on offense just feels desperate early. Instead of just leaning on Sawchuk and let Tommy chip away. Make it to the top or fall off. Do something. Do something. The old Willie Taggart quote. I'm tired of climbing. When it was Willie, the quote was do something. We didn't do shit. Then you got Mike, and then it's the climb. What are we climbing to? I don't feel like we climbing. We just stationary, or we're just scooting sideways, but we ain't actually going up and down. Damn sure ain't climbing shit. No, Almighty, you can't do that. We ain't striving for perfection. Striving for perfection would entail that we have actually accomplished some level of consistent good. You got to get to the consistent good before you can strive for perfection. Like I said, we ain't climbing. 10-2 will get to the playoffs. If 10-2 will get them in the playoffs, and it should. These teams lost on top 5. I don't see a situation in where an ACC team that didn't play for the ACC championship gets into the playoffs, unless a lot of teams have multiple losses. Then maybe you're in the mix, right? And it is shaking out that way, kind of, when you look at now. Texas has 2 losses, and Penn State has 2 losses. Well, Ohio State looks like the goods, but Oregon's still undefeated. Miami. Then you got a couple other teams. And then we know the story. Let's say Bama loses. Let's not even use Bama. Let's say Bama wins the SEC. Let's use a team like Georgia, who might have another loss on their schedule. And it comes down to FSU 10-2, Georgia 10-2. Who do you think gets in? Who do you think gets in? Because we know the records don't matter. we know, logically you would go, well, Florida State beat Bama, who won the. This is all hypothetical, right? But logic would say FSU beat a Bama team that won the SEC and that beat Georgia, and their only two losses was to right now, which is a 5-1 Virginia team. It actually looks like a competent loss, all things considered. And right now, the number 3 team in the country, Miami. Resume would probably say Florida State gets the nod, but Georgia is going to say, well, they beat Tennessee. And I'm pretty sure a 10-2 Georgia team is either looking at beating a ranked Georgia Tech team, or maybe the Georgia Tech team is their other loss. But Georgia's still going to play some other vaunted SEC teams. Like they're I just don't believe that because we've seen it. So until I unsee that, they're not going to give the nod to Florida State over at Georgia. I don't believe they would. And that's, again, all hypothetical. You could use another team if you want. I'm just using that. KCS, man, with the $9.99 super chat. Shout out to KCS. If I can highlight it. There we go. Miami won, but holy shit, Mario is still god awful. And it's going to cost them big down the road. Maybe, maybe not. Here's the beautiful thing about when it comes to talent. And again, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. But sometimes when you're good enough, you're not in a position for the coaching blunders to matter. Sometimes that is just legitimately the case. Sometimes if you're good enough, it don't matter. Appreciate it though.
Yeah, more money. Yeah, more money. Yeah.
10-2 Vandy's another good one. I don't even have to use Georgia. Let's use Vandy. And Vandy, you would say, well, FSU should get the nod over Vandy. They're Florida State, and that's Vanderbilt. But we already know where the money's tied into. I don't believe a 10-2 Florida State gets in unless a lot of other teams lose. That's just me, though. And again, that's just based off college football and what they have told me over the past few years. Hell, 10-2 Miami last year with the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward didn't get in. Now that's Miami's fault. They lost a late game to Syracuse. Probably. I don't disagree. I think, again, I think this is a year where everybody's beating up on everybody. But the way the ACC's even shaking out, this might be Ed thinks probably only 2. I wouldn't be shocked if only 1 ACC team got in, unless Georgia Tech keeps winning. I think Georgia Tech and Miami might be your only hopes. Could be wrong. Maybe Virginia keeps winning. 10-2 Notre Dame would also get the nod. I don't disagree. Chrome is very good. He's going to be very good in the future. I hope we can keep him. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the offseason for Chroma is going to be huge. Because teams are going to say, hey, we got a bag for you, my friend. The offseason for Chroma is going to be huge. He's going to be getting a lot of phone calls. Hope we can keep him. But I think he's going to be a good one. Fatal is a Florida State fan. Plot twist. Go 3-9. Fast track Lane Kiffin. TC is limited, and we know. But he also folded under pressure. Honestly, if we weren't -3 on turnovers, we could have won. Williams don't need to get another snap. I agree with that. I don't need to see number 5 ever touch the football again. I don't disagree with you at all. When do we get our next bye? Good question. Don't know. I have to look at the schedule. Off the top of my head, I don't know. FSU can't get into these slow starts against teams who are finding ways to execute against us early and often. Truthfully, if FSU had enough time for one more drive, they would have won, but that's not how football's played. You get that time, and you didn't execute in that time. I mean, if games went on for 4 hours or 5 hours, then yeah, a lot of teams might, you know. Mario went for it on 4th and 8 to give FSU a chance. A field goal closes the game out right there. Dude is crazy bad. Yeah, but if y'all blocked that kid and turned it, they were screwed. Plus 20 was wide open like he was all night long. Mario tried to run up the score. Mario probably still has that 45-3 game, whatever that score was, in the back of his head. So, that's probably what that was, if I had to guess. If I had to guess, that's what that was. But I'm maxed out, y'all. I've said all I needed to say. I'm feeling, again, some of this stuff is just kind of becoming a trend. Hold on. I got a message. I'm maxed out, y'all. I can't get too up or too down after Florida State football games anymore. So I'll let y'all talk in the chat, and I'll just piggyback off of y'all because I've said all I had to say. Honestly, it's still kind of early, at least not time wise. It's actually kind of late time wise. Now that I just checked, but I really haven't been on here as long, so I might go a little longer. Vegas was involved in that game. There was a lot of money moving. Hey, Pope, what about Dan Lanning? Yeah, I wouldn't mind Dan. For some reason, FSU doesn't like to go with the defensive-minded head football coach, at least in the recent history, because obviously Bobby was here for a gajillion years. But they've constantly, since Bobby, they've gone with Jimbo, then Willie, and now Mike. Excuse me. They seem to prefer offensive-minded football coaches. I would love to get Dan Lanning. I just don't see. I don't know if I see that happening. Oh, Jonathan, I agree. That's why I said I don't get too up or down. This team is right on pace for the type of team I thought they would be. So for me, it just gets a little frustrating sometimes the way you lose. So the buys after the Stanford game. We're Mayo. Yeah, we're going to be in the Duke's Mayo Bowl for sure. At least our guys didn't quit. So, yeah. Yep. And outside of the playoff, I think most of us would agree that the bowl games don't matter anymore. There was a time where some of these bowls were just, it was cool. But outside of the playoff, these bowls don't matter. Honestly, KCS, that's all you can do is shake your head. They left too many yards on the field in the first half. Yeah, they put up a lot of yards and didn't get a lot of points. We outgained Miami, I think, in every metric in the first half, but the score was 14-3. Duke's Mayo or Cheez-It Bowl. Yep. Maybe one day I'll get my mojo back and I can start being excited for these games. But Mike Norvell's Florida State has killed me, man. And I can't let it kill me anymore. FSU been leaving a lot of points on the field. Boys need a players only meeting. Once the players only meeting happens, now we know what happens to the season after a players only meeting. I don't want to see a players only meeting. It's not time for that just yet, because that means your season is going downhill fast once the players only meeting happens. I did not hear Kurt Herbstreit jab. Did he say it in the second half again? I didn't watch much of the second half. I'm not going to lie to you. Again, midway through the third quarter, I stopped paying attention to the game. And even when the comeback was happening, I knew it was fool's gold. I didn't pay much attention to it. But you can tell me what he said. What did he say? I really didn't listen to, nor care about what he said. Look at this. I'm going to read these stats. Total yards. FSU outgained Miami 404 to 338. FSU had more passing yards than Miami, 272 to 241. Miami didn't even crack 100 yards running for the game. FSU had more running yards than Miami, 97 to 132. FSU had less penalties than Miami. FSU had more first downs than Miami, 29 to 14. More fourth down conversions. Miami was 2 for 3. FSU was 3 for 4. So that's kind of even. Ran 83 plays. Miami only ran 59. Miami won with the 3 turnovers. Miami only had 2 sacks. FSU, from a box score, just from strictly the box score, if I just showed you the box score and just the statistics and you'd say, oh, FSU won that football game. Crazy. He was dropping light jabs all night. They stung. We're still an immature football team. That's why we lost. First half jab. They talked about Corso being recognized, and we don't get to see Corso often because of his job, meaning game day won't come to FSU anymore. Miami did run for 100 yards, and they had that great. Miami ran for 97 yards, man, according to the box score. So it's only 3 yards less than 100. But I think the bigger takeaway, even if you just watch the game and don't look at the stats, is Miami controlled the line and could run when they needed to run, could pick up the 4 or 5 yards when they needed to. That's kind of more important than just the overall running numbers, right? They were able to do things when they needed to do them. And I think that's the key. I don't know why Zay keep talking about the stupid refs. When in that first drive, that was an obvious pass interference in the end zone on Deuce, and they didn't call it. I mean, don't act like the refs was just a totally against Miami. Come on, man. Come on, Zay. Take your win with some grace, my man. Complaining about refs and a win that's just crazy talk. Hit my like button for me, guys. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to get up out of here. It is 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'm out of here. I am done. I feel like our DBs, I feel like 19 was a step behind every receiver, for sure. The refs called it decent. I don't know why Zay's talking about the refs. Yeah, I don't know what Zay's on. I think Zay's just trolling because he can. Turnovers and bad QB play. I agree, champ. I agree. Turnovers and the quarterback didn't play well. I agree with that. Cost FSU the game. I agree with that. Vegas, POLK. I saw the momentum shifter early after that PA. Yeah, for sure. for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. We did 2 hours. I feel good. I feel good about those 2 hours. Uh, sorry, I can't give you more, but I don't have it in me. Mike Norvell has made me so empathetic to this football team, man. I, I just when we win, I'm like, yes. When we lose, I'm like, shucks. That is my that is just how I am nowadays. Now I am. But yeah, hit my like button, guys. Again, next week is Pitt, but I don't know if I'm going to be live next weekend, depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing. But same to y'all. Stay safe. Be good the rest of your night. If you're in Tallahassee, have some fun. Um, yeah, man, y'all be easy. As always, it's your boy Polk over here on 863 Seminole TV. Y'all stay classy, Seminole fans. We are out here. Go Noles. And again, congratulations, Miami. Well deserved win. Catch y'all later.